What's up, savvy babes? What's up, savages? How y'all guys doing? How y'all guys doing? I love my fucking accent over here, boy. So today we're just gonna be doing my skincare and brushing out my hair and doing some advice for y'all because I've been seeing, sorry, I got distracted, but I've been seeing a lot of questions being popped up in relationship advice on the Reddit thread. So we're here, okay? And I know my series is nowhere near popular as anything can be, but whatever. First question. 36-year-old female won't let my parents meet our child. How do I support her decision but not alienate my parents? Okay. Seems a little scary, and this is a long one. Very long. Let's see. 8 years ago, I had a child with a woman I had an affair with. She didn't know that I was married and ended things when she found out. We stayed in contact for the sake of the child, and somewhere down the line, for me, feelings developed and love for her developed, and I left my wife to be with her. That's where you fucked up. Things are really good for us, and between us, we've found our groove, and the three of us have been happy little unit, but we have one issue. When she found out that I was married, she sent a letter and pictures of our newborn child to my parents with the offer of contact. My now ex-wife at the time decided that the best course of action was to tell my parents that if they wanted to be involved with our child, that they couldn't be involved with the other child. Oh, that's some petty ass shit. Okay. Around a year later, she sent one more picture and offered contact should they ever want it, but obviously heard nothing back, so she never contacted them again. Fast forward to now, we're happily together. My parents want to meet her, but basically our child, but she is dead set against it, and I can't blame her. She sees it as they've had 8 years to reach out. Our child has literally no clue who they are or that they even exist, and she doesn't want them now trying to swoop in and try to play the dotting grandma and grandpa. She's newly pregnant with our second child, and obviously my parents want the chance to be involved again, but quite rightly she's against this because, as she said, they've had a grandchild for 8 years that they want nothing to do with. They aren't going to be allowed to ignore one for so long and then acknowledge one as soon as it's been conceived. I want to know how I can keep supporting her, but also not completely alienate my parents and potentially talk to her one day when/if she's comfortable with meeting with them. My parents got the okay from the ex-wife 4 years ago to make contact when we divorced. I gave my parents my now partner's address at the time to write to her and potentially meet. They did nothing. No letter, no cards, nothing. I had an affair, had a child. Parents didn't meet the child, divorced the wife to be with her, but doesn't want our parents meeting our child or unborn baby. Bro, I'm sorry, but like, that's fucked up. First of all, the two bitches that you're dealing with, first of all, one or the other should have never banned, like, your parents from seeing one child. Like, so it says that your ex-wife, your now ex-wife, would have banned your parents if they came involved with the other child that was your now wife's child. Does your now wife know about that history and that maybe because of the first wife's fucking rules that were set in, they were like, okay, well, this is the grandbaby we've been taking care of. We don't know that other one. We don't know how that's going to go. They just stayed in contact with this baby and that woman because that's what she fucking said. But now because after 4 years later, she's like, no, it's okay. You can go ahead and you know, be grandparents to the other grandbaby. Now that they can put their foot in the door and be grandparents to both children, your now wife wants to be petty as fuck, saying absolutely not. I don't know, like does she know both sides? Does she know, like, the fact that happened? Like, I feel like you haven't been, I don't know, like, telling her everything, because honestly, it's fucked up. It's fucked up from the beginning, like, before your parents even are trying to step in right now. Like, the rules that both the women set in place were kind of fucked up. Like, I ain't never heard no shit like that. Like, grandparents have nothing to do with, like, who's conceived, why they were conceived. Like, they have no control over that. They have to follow along with whatever rules are being set in place by both parents. So, like, I don't know. I feel like your now wife is being a little too strict, and that's okay. She's 8 years old. She can grow to find out who they are. She don't have to call them grandpa and grandpa either. She can call them by their names. She, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, that's just weird. Like, I feel like invite your parents over one day. Who cares if this is going to start a fucking fight? Like, something needs to happen. Like, they're your fucking parents. She married into your life, your family. Like, I don't know. For me, that's a little unfair, especially the fact that she's so adamant about it. Like, things happen, things change. Obviously, what happened with your ex-wife, the rule, like, that she set in place, maybe now that's just changed. So, like, I don't know. Like, for me, something don't sit with me. Something don't sit with me. Both of those women, bro, what you get yourself into? I'm very confused. Unless you're a girl, like, I don't know. Regardless, if you were a girl or a guy and your partner has children, like, your children, like, no. They don't have to be called grandpa and grandpa, grandma and grandpa. That's number one. Number two is, okay, so meet them. Have an adult conversation with the both of them as to why they didn't reach out, why were they never involved, why weren't they interested in the beginning. Like, kind of have like a parent sit down without the kids. Maybe she'll feel more comfortable once she gets the answers out of them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like more conversation needs to happen in this. Like, a lot more conversation needs to happen in this. And your wife, now wife, needs to stop being so bitter, because she also needs to remember that she was a fucking homewrecker. Even though she didn't know that you were married, she was a homewrecker. She destroyed that whole marriage, that whole thing, you know what I mean? So, like, the parents are obviously going to side with who has a grandbaby right here, right now. Like, I don't know. Like, something just, I don't know. Too much. What the fuck happened? Let's go somewhere else, because that is like, what the fuck to me? That's what that status is. That's what the fuck. You know what I mean? Oh God, here we go. Here is a sketchy one. My boyfriend has been lying about his age and identity. I'm gonna puke. I'm terrified for my life. Any and all advice is entirely and fully welcomed. I'll start this off by saying that I am by no means an adult or mentally mature enough to handle the situation entirely on my own, for I lack the proper judgment to understand why he did this and why this happened. I am 16 and my boyfriend Greg told me he was 17. No biggie, 1 year apart, great. We've been together for approximately a year now. I never loved someone so highly. Everything is amazing. Our sexual preferences align, and he's met my parents. My parents are hesitant, but I've somehow convinced them he's a friend. The skepticism is still there, which is why I cannot confide in my mother or stepfather today. I spoke with a guy, James, who newly transferred to our school. James is great. I noticed a resemblance between James and my boyfriend, but I shrugged it off. We go out for ice cream. He talks to me about motorcycle horses. Okay, cool. My boyfriend texts me and I mention to James. James mentions how his own brother is also named Greg and wants to become a mechanic. Okay. I asked if they also have 4 dogs and laugh. James nods. I ask how old James's brother is. He tells me his brother is 20. I don't say anything else, go home, then immediately text Greg. I call him, all while I'm doing this with my entire body is shaking, and I'm on the verge of a breakdown. After 5 minutes of pressure, he finally admits it, everything. He admits everything, all while I'm crying into my phone. He tells me he's actually 20 and he's a mechanic, but he has to quit soon due to his father's illness. They have a family company that James is indeed his brother, and that he lives in an apartment alone. I'm so scared. Greg has taken my virginity. He was my first kiss, and he even met my best friend. I can't confide in her either because she's gonna flip and get me in more trouble. I love him still so much, but I don't know what to do. I feel disgusting. I've been sitting in the shower for about an hour now, trying to scrub every part of my body. I know this is a lot, but I'm so lost. Greg treats me so well. I'm a huge book nerd, and he's the type of guy you read about. He's taking care of me when no one else has. He's listened to me speak about my family issues. He took me to my first carnival. I can't leave him, at least not right now. I'm ignoring him as of right now, but I really don't know what else to do. Update, he just told me he's on his way. My parents are at work. I really can't do this. Girl, after reading that, like, I just got the illest vibe of feeling so fucking sorry for you. You got played. Yeah, sure, he did everything with his first with you, whatever, but most of the time, predators That's what they do. They make sure that you get everything, you feel everything. He does everything for you just so you can make sure you give it up to him. And if this man is 20, he lied to you about being his age. Honestly, this is like, I want to tell you to get away. I do. I truly want to tell you to get away, but you know him better than anybody else, you know what I mean? But everyone else on the outside looking into this perspective right now is that he's just a predator. He was chasing after you. He was grooming you. He was making sure you were happy and you were going to do whatever he wanted as long as you were happy. And he did the simple things that you wanted. And I'm sorry, but that's really disgusting. You should definitely maybe speak to a school counselor or ask to go to therapy, because I know school counselors will snitch on and call your parents immediately. So if you seek therapy, they're not allowed to say anything. But he could get in a lot of fucking trouble. Like a lot. I don't know what state you live in, but he could get arrested. He could get incriminated. I'm so sorry, but you gotta go. You need more than just breaking up with him. You need a lot more support, like a lot more. And if I were you, I would tell your best friend, because maybe she can be more of support for you and help you get away from that. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's literally all I can say and feel right now, is that I'm sorry. I mean, wow, that was a deep one. It was very deep. Yep. So I just scrolled down to the comments just to see if there's any updates, and yeah, he was grooming you. As soon as you get older, it's gonna get worse. Like, I gotta get off of this question right here. So my brother said he had a dream about me having sex with him, and I don't know what to do. This morning, my brother told me about how he had a dream of me having sex with him, and I was very disgusted by this. I don't know what to do. In the past, he has humped me with clothes on, and I told him to stop, but he was mostly joking, so I didn't take it really to heart. He also jokingly said he would rape me on several occasions. I told him to stop because it was messed up, and it made me feel very uncomfortable. Should I tell my parents? Yeah, you should tell your parents. First of all, have you not seen that episode on Dr. Phil where this boy literally abused his sisters because all he wanted was his needs met? Girl, I don't even care if you tell your counselor, if you tell your teacher, if you tell people you trust. You need to be telling people. That is so uncomfortable, especially because he's your brother. Like, is he your, like, stepbrother or half-brother? Because that would be even, like, scarier. But regardless, a lot of guys don't think with this. They think with that. So that's a really big fucking problem. And it needs to be aired out and discussed. And maybe you can even sit down both of your parents, if you have both, or one of the parent, with him and say, Mom, Dad, he keeps making these kind of jokes about me and I don't really like them. They make me uncomfortable. Like, can you please tell him to stop, and put him on the spot in the hot seat in front of the parents? Because, like, no, that shit needs to be addressed and deaded right then and there. Because what the fuck? Like, that's your brother. That's weird. Like, nah, son. Nah. You know what I mean? Oh my God. We live in such a dark world nowadays. I am so sorry for everything that everybody's been going through, especially with the pandemic and all that shit happening. It's definitely made, you know, a rise out of crazy things that have been happening. But that is all that we have for today. And I'm sorry that this episode was pretty dark. I'm really sorry for that girl who was in that crazy, unfortunate relationship. I do hope that she sought help and got out of that. I hope that other girls figured out the situation with her brother. And I hope that the first person can really console or, like, figure out a sit-down meeting with the adults. I try not to read the questions so that I already have an idea of what I'm going to read. I like to read them right there, right then and there, and, like, just think immediately of what I would do, because this is what the series is about. It is called What Would Kimba Do? So in my opinion, that is all of the things that I would do if I were in those situations. Comment down below and let me know if you would do the same thing, or if you recommend any other advice to the situations that I have discussed today. But I'll catch you bitches in the next one, okay? Bye!